Tess, we're live.
Whoa.
Just so you know.
Thank you for that information.
Okay, just wanted you to know.
It's really important.
I hit a button on time.
On time?
We're good at this.
Yeah,
So good.
Yeah.
You guys are doing great.
Are we?
I'm so proud of you.
She sounds so condescending. I'm really proud of you. You've done a job. Great job,
Rachel.
I mean.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Come give you a pat on the back. Hi everyone. I'm Philip.
I'm Tommy.
It worked. And this is RCX Unfiltered. And our lovely Tess is behind the camera as always.
As always.
Trying to drum up business.
The way you were speaking, I was like, this is our smooth jazz episode.
This is our trying to keep calm. Just keep calm, everyone.
Breathe.
Keep calm. It's fine.
Gosh. Where is it?
What a week.
Yeah.
What time is it? It's 7:01.
I'm looking for the live. I can't find it.
It's time to get ill.
Found it.
Oh, sorry.
Nah, that's different.
Oh.
All right, so what's going on? We got books.
We do have some
By the
books.
skin of our teeth, we got
Yeah.
books. I don't know if you knew this or not, but there was a storm in Maryland last week.
Yeah, the apparently most of the country was covered in snow and ice.
Who knew?
So we normally have tracking for our Marvel and Dark Horse stuff on Friday. And yesterday when I went to check, it wasn't there. And I was like, oh no. So I called and they were like, oh yeah, the entire East Coast is delayed. And I was like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I went to bed last night a little after midnight, and I checked my emails before that, and
Yeah.
then all the PRH emails came in. I'm like,
Okay.
Hey, look.
All right. So anyway, we got it today. And so we're all set for tomorrow, but it is a tiny week.
Teeny
Regardless. There's
But
not
there's
a
always
ton.
good stuff.
Yeah, there are amazingly good books this week. There's not a ton of them.
So I guess we've gone to a level of we get fewer books every week just because of the way they're doing stuff, but there's really not less titles.
Mhm.
The books are just more spread out now. So instead of you only have really a handful of books that are coming out monthly.
Yeah.
Spider-Man, Batman, Superman,
Mhm.
X-Men. But like all your other a lot of Boom stuff seems to be like every 6 weeks.
6 weeks or so. Yeah.
or so.
Yeah.
And so it seems to be that way on a lot of those books.
Yeah.
So, because one of the books we're going to talk about, issue 2 came out
A while ago.
1st of December,
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
if not longer.
Yeah.
In my timeline, it was probably actually like November.
Yeah. Time is fake. It's not real. It doesn't matter.
Didn't it happen like yesterday? Yeah, yesterday in 2019 it happened.
Yep. Yep.
Y'all too will understand that one. Time is a construct.
No.
Time is a flat circle. Wait, no. That was a different show. It's True Detective.
I haven't watched True Detective in a long time.
I watched the first season and wish I hadn't. It was very good. But then when we got to the episode where they show exactly what was going on, by then I was invested and I needed to know the end, but I didn't want to know what was happening.
That's most things.
Didn't like it.
That's why I only watch the end of things. I just need to know how it ends.
Cody says hi.
Oh, hi.
Hi, Cody.
Oh, yeah. Gregory's watching us live tonight
Oh,
because Cody wasn't feeling well, so I told him to go home. So he was like, oh, cool. I can watch live.
he could always watch live.
That's true.
No one made him leave at 7. He could have always pulled up a chair next to Tess and
That's
watched
true.
us live.
That is true.
Tonight's show is filmed in front of a live studio with our own laugh track.
Yeah.
Continually laugh track. Yeah. It's better with you than Jacqueline because Jacqueline will not laugh at us at all.
Yep.
She doesn't make it. She's like, no.
Yeah, she makes it a point.
Yeah.
Like, even if we're funny, she refuses.
No.
Yeah, it's just a whole point with her.
Oh my god.
And I get it, honestly. Yeah,
So do I.
understand.
Yeah.
I get it.
I wouldn't give us the satisfaction of making us think that we're funny either. That seems to be awful. So we got books.
Mhm.
We're working on, well, Powhatan Comic Con.
Yes,
Which
I've added
is-
like 4 or 5 new vendors for Powhatan Comic Con today. So it's going to be the biggest Powhatan Comic Con that we've put on.
Could be the biggest Powhatan Comic Con ever
Yep,
in the history of Powhatan Comic Cons.
and as of right now, I won't be there, but
Tess will
I
be
will
running.
be there.
Tess will be there.
Tess will be there.
Yeah.
Yes. Tess will be running Powhatan Comic Con.
Oh, Rachel
Along with
says,
Powhatan.
Rachel says we need a Tess fit check.
Do we?
Yeah.
It's the same thing I wear every week.
It is not.
Yeah, it's this this flannel, the
It's
yellow
Tess's
shirt.
fashion show.
But look at my hair.
I did notice that you
Isn't it fun?
had
Mhm.
recolored your hair.
Yeah, my roommates were like, "You can never wear pigtails ever again. We don't associate with Harley Quinn." I was like, "Okay."
They need to learn more about Harley if that's the way they feel about her.
Wow.
Anyway,
I would like to give a college level dissertation about Harley
Harley
Quinn
Quinn. Okay,
to your roommates.
I'll listen.
I'm just kidding. I don't care that much.
I'm just saying. Yeah, Harley Quinn, boo. Whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, I'm a walking box of crayons. I love that. That's the goal.
Yeah, well, yeah. As long as it's only the 8 count.
Yeah, I don't want to count any higher than that.
We can only deal with the 8.
What
8
even?
Grail.
What even is a burnt sienna?
No idea.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, Jacqueline always gets mad at me because she goes like, "What color is that?" I'm like, "It's red." And she'll go some like fancy color. I'm like, "It's still red." Like
Yeah.
I don't deal in shades. It's just
It's
red.
Remember Juno when she had like the 4 different shades of white, and she's like, "This one's angel kiss, and this one's eggshell." And we're like, "They're white.
They're white.
They're all white."
It's all white. Yeah. Like it's like there's only 8. There's
Yeah.
only 8 things. I don't know what this box of 264 is. Like, stop.
Phoebe's gonna be mad at me.
Right?
She has a degree in this type of stuff, and
Yeah.
she's way better at this than I am.
So we'll get to comics in a minute, I promise. But never mind it. So if you don't know, Jacqueline's athletic trainer, so she gets really picky about when people do medical stuff.
Uh-huh.
So we're watching Reacher season 2, right?
Okay.
Reacher, people. If you haven't watched Reacher, I love it. It's great. It's a TV show. It's Reacher. He's beating up people.
Mhm.
Weird things happen. People are jumping out of airplanes. It's action.
Yeah.
So we watch this show, and then the one thing she gets mad at is he's cleaning a wound with alcohol. And she goes, "We wouldn't do that." I'm like, wait, we are watching this entire show, and once again, you're upset that they're cleaning a wound with alcohol. Like, after he just punched a car. this is what you're upset about.
Yeah. Well, whatever profession you're in, when you see it done incorrectly on screen, it makes you crazy.
Yeah, I don't care. I just don't care. And I looked at her because I tell the same story all the time. When the first live action Transformers movie came out, we had people coming in here complaining about it because of the science of like coming through space and all that. I'm like, you completely ignored the sentient robot that could transform. Like, that's fine.
Yeah, after the new Doctor Who special, someone came in and was complaining about them, and he tried to use logic and science as
Oh
a
my God, I
reason
remember that.
not to. And I was like, "Bro, it's Doctor Who.
Ooh.
None of it makes sense.
Yeah.
That's part of the fun."
Right. That's yeah, like Gregory. Like, yeah, like why? Like, why do you even like
Yeah.
it's sci-fi? Like,
Yeah.
like, yeah, we'll ignore the guy with the glowing ring that can fly, but I'm really upset about this thing. Well, yeah, but she was like upset. You don't put alcohol in it. I'm like, he just punched a car. Like, stop. And she's fine with that, right?
Sure.
It is a really good scene, though. It really is a good scene. But I'm like, why? Why do you do?
Yeah.
It's just funny. Stuff like that cracks me up. Like, okay, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
of all the things.
I feel like if there were shows about comic shops, I'd probably get upset about the minutia of nonsense. It doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, we had Simpsons and Comic Shop Guy, and then we had Big Bang Theory.
Well, someone did. We didn't.
I didn't watch Big Bang Theory.
I've watched some of it, and like it's fine. Apparently, it gets good later, but I didn't give it that much of a try. Rachel says it gets better.
Oh, yeah,
So
I have an issue with sitcoms.
yeah,
I'm not a big sitcom fan.
yeah, I'm not big into them either, unless it's Sanford and Son.
Yeah, I see, and I think that's my problem, right? So when you're old,
Yeah,
all the great sitcoms came out in the 70s and I guess 60s, 70s, and then early 80s.
yeah.
It was when it ended. And so when you watch today's sitcoms, I can tie it back to any episode
Yeah,
of Sanford and Son or
Yeah, we've already seen this episode.
I've seen this episode.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, they got a cell phone now, but it's the same episode.
Yeah.
How many times can you lose something and then
Kevin? Oh, sorry. That's a different thing.
that's a different thing.
What did Kevin's dad do? They could afford that house and a European vacation for that many kids.
Drug dealer.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, it's the only thing that makes sense.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm still trying to figure out how some of these homes around here in Chesterfield, townhomes, are like $350,000 to $400,000. What are these people doing?
I don't know. Nothing makes sense.
No idea.
That's a good point, Gregory.
Human trafficking.
I watched a few episodes of Comic Book Man, but it was so heavily staged that I couldn't actually get a sense of what the shop was like.
Yeah.
And like they admitted that, like that was, it was all for the cameras, and that that was what it was. Like if I treated my customers the way he treated his customers, I wouldn't have any customers.
Yeah.
Like clearly that was all staged.
Yeah. It was completely staged, but I didn't watch any of that too. Either.
I watched like the first season because I love Kevin Smith. And like the sequences where they're like in the recording studio in between scenes in the shop were the most fun parts for me. Because it was Kevin being like Stan Lee, basically, over the top. Yeah. It was like the show was kind of fun, but like it parts of it did annoy me because I was like, man, he is such a jerk to everyone. Walt was such a jerk to everybody that walked in the door that it was like, how do you run a business like that? But like it was staged. It was all clearly staged. Like we had a customer who was going there and he borrowed a statue from us to take up to try and sell it. And it got cut because they'd already done that statue.
That's funny.
The Flash of Two Worlds statue we used to have. Yeah, he borrowed it and took it up there, but they were like, oh, we already did this one in a previous episode that hasn't aired yet.
Gotcha.
No.
So yeah.
But I mean, to be fair, any comic shop thing that you've seen on the show, there's probably a comic shop somewhere.
Yeah.
That's exactly like that.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah.
Because we are all so different.
Yeah. Somebody asked me, like, what's your opinion about this thing? And I was like, well, my personal opinion is this. And they were like, okay. And I was like, but if you go to 100 different comic shops, you're going to get 100 different answers.
Yeah.
Like, we all have different ideas about how this business should be, and none of us are wrong.
Right.
Like,
because areas are different. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll go to some areas and you will meet the comic book guy from The Simpsons.
and sometimes your whole store smells like happy.
I mean, and there's
People shop there.
there's a good chance that it was Frank at one time.
I had somebody here the other day. He was like, can you believe that when Frank opened the store, he used to smoke in the store? And I was like, yes, I do believe that.
Yes, I do believe that.
100% believe that.
I was here. I was here in wasn't here in 87, but I was
Early
was-
90s.
I was here in the early 90s when they were still smoking.
Yeah. That was wild to me.
Well, I mean, you did it in
Yeah,
office buildings.
yeah.
Like it was everywhere, right? Y'all may not remember that.
Yeah, I remember it. I just
Well,
like,
they may not.
oh yeah, they
I pointed
clearly,
at Tess.
clearly no.
Gregory.
No.
Yeah, probably not.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, Rachel. Yeah, my mom used to smoke at the grocery store.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, I like now you'd get in trouble, but I remember when my mom would hand me $20 and I have to go buy cartons.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm like 8.
Yeah, I used to do that too.
Here's $20. Go in there and get me a cart. I'm not getting out of this cart.
Yeah. Well, we did it at 7-Eleven a lot. And
Whoa.
I'd go in at like 10 or 11 years old and be like, I need a pack of blah, blah, blah. And they'd
Sure.
look at me funny. And I was like, she's right there. And they're like, oh, right.
Yeah, right.
No big deal. Here you go, kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. In a restaurant. Yep. And then I remember when they switched over to the smoking and non-smoking sections.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was better than the airplanes. You had a smoking and a non-smoking.
Which were not really partitioned in any way. It's just here's where the smokers stopped and here's
Yeah.
where the non-smokers started. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Good times.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, shoot, I remember going. So I remember in high school, right? Like smoking was 16.
We had a smoking section at
Yeah,
school.
we had a smoking section in school,
As long as you
like
were
outside.
of
like,
age to smoke, you could go smoke, but over there in the corner.
Yeah, but I think it was 16.
And it was 16. Yeah. 16. And then like teachers would come out there too sometimes.
Yeah, it was really weird because you would see the students and because I never smoked, so I
I
wasn't.
didn't either.
But the area was outside, so you would see students and the teachers smoking together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I hate that.
and alcohol then was 18.
Yeah.
Wasn't 21 till much later, but it was
Wow.
18 then. Good old.
Back in the good old days.
It was. It was back in the days.
Back in the
I don't know.
days.
Let's.
I'm not sure
I'm not
when
gonna-
the good old days
Yeah, I'm
were
not going to show.
exactly.
Yeah,
But
yeah. That's like I hear people all the time sitting there going, "I would have liked to lived in the West without running water and
no,
indoor
I like
plumbing,
showers too much. Absolutely
electricity."
not.
Like, no.
I've seen Deadwood. I see how gross those people are.
Like, I enjoy watching it, but I don't want to live there.
Yeah, yeah. People are like, oh, I'd have made a great Viking.
Gregory
No, you
says,
wouldn't.
and y'all had to walk uphill both ways in the snow and the heat.
Nope.
Yep.
I lived in Georgia. There was never any snow. No, we never had a smidgen of snow in Georgia. It wasn't a thing.
That's true. Yeah, some number of years ago, a
There's-
quarter-inch of snow shut down the entire city of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Like they don't know what to do with
Yeah.
snow there at all.
Yeah, trust me. You people may say it. It does not snow in hell. It does not. I was there for long enough to know it doesn't
Yeah.
snow in it. I'm just saying. All right, comics. We should talk comics.
Comics? Yeah. Back in my day, we put comics on the silly putty and read them backwards.
They were a quarter. They were a quarter. See, I had a jet food store, so I didn't have 7-Elevens. My town was so poor. We had knockoff 7-Elevens called jet food store.
Yeah.
We couldn't afford the 7-Elevens.
We went to the fancy 812s.
That's right.
Just kidding. We only had 610s.
That's right. Yeah. And then the county, and I don't know how it was up here, but the county I lived in Georgia was dry, which means you couldn't buy liquor or anything. But then on Sundays you would go into the store and like all the beer cabinets were locked. So yeah, because you couldn't get alcohol in.
So
where I
dry
lived.
counties in Georgia is the plot of the movie Smokey and the Bandit.
It is. It 100% is. And I actually remember people who actually did the Smokey and the Bandit, not the time period, but used to
Right.
bring in Coors
Yeah.
from outside because you couldn't get it. I mean, that's the whole plot of Smokey and the Bandit is they go out and bring Coors back into
Because it was illegal.
Georgia because it was illegal. That beer was illegal in Georgia.
Cool.
So the beer was awful, evidently, but you
Yeah,
couldn't get it, so
I've
everyone
never-
wanted it. Yeah.
I've never attempted to drink Coors.
Hey, there's still a Piggly Wiggly in my town.
There's Piggly Wigglies in Appalachia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's still, I think there's
Yeah.
still, I think the grocery stores where I grew up is still there. It's a Piggly Wiggly and a Bilo.
I believe there is a Piggly Wiggly in the in Saltville, Virginia, the salt capital of the
Word?
Confederacy.
Wow.
That's they are proud of that. There are signs. They have caves filled with
Caves?
salt. Yes, salt caves.
Salt caves.
Yes, Saltville is very proud of their salt.
Well, my hometown was on Jeopardy And the answer was, I'm from Waynesboro. And the question was, is this city is known as the bird dog capital of the world?
Huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it actually made Jeopardy one time.
I thought it was going to be a Walking Dead question.
Oh, well. Yeah. No one knows this.
The governor
The governor
from Walking Dead.
is from Waynesboro, Georgia, which is even stranger because his first name is Philip. So in case you don't know, the governor's first name is Philip, and he's from Waynesboro, Georgia, where I'm from.
Wow.
It floored me when I read that novel, that governor novel. I'm like, wait, so I had to go check because I'm like, we'd have been about the right age. Was it me? Was I the governor?
God, I hope not.
God, I hope not, but yeah.
I gotta go.
Uh-huh. Deliverance was also in Georgia. In case you didn't. Don't go look up the movie Deliverance.
Don't do it.
Don't plan on it.
Yeah,
I
please
plan
don't.
on it. Don't worry.
Yeah, yeah.
Don't
If you're
worry.
old enough to know Deliverance, you're fine. It happened in Georgia. If you're not, don't look it up.
Okay.
Don't look up Ned Beatty.
There's a lot of Burt Reynolds talk tonight.
It's a lot of Burt Reynolds. It's probably why I grew up liking Burt
Yeah,
Reynolds.
maybe.
I mean, he was in all the movies at the time.
He was, yeah.
Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
Good times.
He's not a nice man. Anyway. All right, you ready? Comments.
I'm ready.
By the time we get going, Tesla's gonna tell us it'll be over. So
Well,
Yeah.
You know, it's been that kind of day.
Whoa, we have so many comments.
uh-oh. Do we need to answer anything before we start?
No.
Okay, good.
Rachel would like us to paddle faster.
Them lips sure are pretty.
Oh God.
I apologize for not getting any of our jokes, but it's mostly for us anyway. So everyone else is just along for a ride. Yeah. And we're like, what the hell are they talking about? Anyway, speaking of Deliverance, we have Titans Beast World, number 5.
Yep. There's beasts in this world.
You correlate that however you like. All right, Tommy, what's going on in Beast World?
Amanda Waller's a jerk.
What?
Peacemaker's her right hand. And Nightwing is like, I ain't having it. Like that's my quick and dirty review.
That is 100% what happens in
That
it.
is basically the book.
That is.
Nightwing's like, oh nah. And then the secret villain in the background has been this Dr. Hate for a while. He's got like the anti-Dr. Fate helmet. It's like a Lords of Chaos helmet.
Yeah.
And at the end of this, they reveal who Dr. Hate is.
We're not going to tell you.
And
Spoiler alert.
if you're a longtime Titans fan, you'll be like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Unless you're a longtime Titans fan on the internet and you're like, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever seen. Blah. That was my Reddit impression. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was like, what?
Yeah, I hurt myself rolling my eyes earlier today reading Reddit.
So that's Titans Beast War number 5. Number 6 comes out next week, and we will wrap up this storyline.
Yep. It's been excellent.
To continue later this year.
And
Not this storyline.
I read a snippet of a thing with Tom Taylor, and they were like, did you have some like deep-seated love of furries, or why did you do this? And he's like, nah. He's like, people on the internet love the idea of Damien as a cat boy, so we made Damien a cat boy. He's like, I love fan service.
That was in the Nightwing book last week.
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? I ain't even mad. I get it.
Actually, that book was really good because it was.
Was that the one with Gale Bear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was John and Nightwing teaming up to go save Damien.
Yeah, and then
So,
there's, for those of you who don't follow Gail Simone on Twitter, and she's literally the only reason to be on Twitter. She's having fake fights with Neil Gaiman and Tom Taylor right now. Neil Gaiman because he stole her Snoopy cups, and someone decided that Gail Simone's actually a bear pretending to be a person. I don't remember where that started.
it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it's been a
wasn't
while.
Like
It's
it
been a
wasn't
while.
even this year.
And then
Well,
Gail
last year.
Simone, for many years, was a hairdresser before she got into comics. So last week in Nightwing, they had to fight a bear named Gale, who used to be a hairdresser. It was hilarious.
It was hilarious. Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good. Yeah, the Beast Wars World stuff has been actually really good. I have ignored some of the side
I
quests.
haven't read any of the one shots. I've only read the Titan stuff and the Nightwing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Titans book has been really good, and the stuff in Nightwing has been
It's
been good.
it's Tom Taylor. He's real good.
Next is speaking of Tess. Yeah, we have Harley Quinn 36.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, 36. I was right. So we're getting closer to wrapping
There-
up this multiverse storyline. Go ahead.
So besides the multiverse storyline, which is the big overarching thing, there are several adorable character moments with Harley and Ivy in this issue that it's just so cute. You can see how much they love each other and what kind of relationship they have. And like Harley's like, oh, I've got to do all this stuff. And Ivy's like, do you need my help? And she's like, nah, I think I got it. And like they're at the beginning of it, they're in the middle of a fight, like a running fight. And then Ivy calls and Harley's like, hold on, guys, I got to take this.
Yeah.
And then there's been a backup story in all these issues that are a different genre every time. And this is Savage Sword of Harley.
Wow.
And it looks,
And it is beautiful.
it is very pretty.
Holy moly.
Yeah, it
is
looks like something
beautiful.
out of heavy metal in the 80s.
Yes.
It looks really cool.
Here, I'll show you. Well, that shows you the end of the other. I can't show you. Sorry. I don't want to give
Just
spoilers.
show that.
Yeah. Here we go.
That is awesome.
So here's the backup story. Yeah, and it's amazing.
Yeah, the backups have been super fun. They have almost nothing to do with nothing.
Yeah.
But they've been
But
just fun.
this main story has been great. Like I've never actually read Harley, right? Like
I haven't
any
in
Harley.
many years.
Like I haven't read any. And I like once again, if you watch this, I only really picked this up because of Sweeney Boo.
Yeah.
But then Teenie Howard was actually, she's writing it too.
Yeah.
And it has been a lot of
It's
fun.
been real fun. Her hyenas, which are, the hyenas have been around since Batman the Animated Series back in the 90s. But when she's in the space between realities, her hyenas are actually bipedal people and they talk to her and they're trying to help her out. They're her super bros. The book is silly and fun and I love it.
Yeah. If you enjoy fun, silly stuff, then you
Yeah.
probably should not read that book.
And the color palette is really bright and it pops and it's
Yeah.
everything about this book screams fun.
Yeah. If you want to enjoy things, it's probably not the book for you. Jacqueline would not read that book. It's not depressing enough.
Yeah, it has yet to make me cry.
It's so pretty.
It is so pretty.
It is very
This
pretty.
is like my color palette.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I claim it.
There you go. You could discuss that with Sweeney Boo.
Should we start calling her Tessa Boo?
Tessa Boo. Yes. I approve that
Oh my
message.
God.
Yes. You are now known as Tessa Boo.
Oh, wow.
You're welcome.
I hate that a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, well, you shouldn't have said that. Because we would have forgotten by next week, but now there's no
But
chance
now
of
there's
us
no
forgetting.
chance of you ever forgetting. Wonderful.
Yes.
I love this.
Yeah. If you hadn't said a word, we would have never remembered. But now,
Oh, darn.
that you said that you're not really too keen on it, Tessa Boo it is.
Bye.
Next up is Zawa, number 3,
Zawa and the
Belly of the Beast.
belly of the beast.
Yes.
All right. So
Which is also a very adorable, but it's dark.
it's it's getting brighter. Every issue gets a little brighter.
Well, it's got to.
Yeah. So
We're
there's
saving the
basically-
world.
Yeah, there's this village on a mountain or a city on a mountain.
So
And basically they're under the heel of the guy who's in charge of everything. And then once a year he has a big feast festival where everybody gets free food. And then it turns out like this guy is the guy that manufactures all the food and he has subpar food. It's all terrible. Everyone hates it. And his like minions, like his henchmen are all dressed like cereal mascots and stuff. Like one of them looks like a piece of candy. One of them's like a coffee cup or something. I don't know. A lot of it's kind of silly, but basically there's this guardian that people kind of worship. And he's like, I will keep you safe until the guardian comes back. And in the first issue, we learned, well, the guardian's chained up in the basement. He's had the guardian.
My mom's here.
Oh, hi.
We should be getting you name tags for Tessa Boo.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. That's
fine.
way better than what's going on over here.
Yeah. It's always good weird.
Yeah,
It's always good.
it is.
So once again, this book starts off really dark, but it will not end really dark. That is not where we're headed.
Yeah,
And I believe in Boombox.
I do too. Also, when they first meet Zawa, she's like a feral monster, and then they give her cookies, and she's fine.
Well, she has been locked up for a while.
Yeah,
too,
I'm just
so,
saying,
yeah.
like cookies fix things.
Yeah, exactly. Always. Yeah. Tomorrow at work, there's for 12 to 1, there's a cookie company that's coming that makes local cookies that's selling them.
All right, so I should be there like 11:45.
Well, here's the thing. I have a dentist appointment during that time. So I have to give someone money to go buy me like cookies.
Oh man.
So when I get back from my dentist, I'm going to eat cookies.
As you should.
So I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
take milk tomorrow to work. Next up is the Spider-Man that is overly superior, number 3.
Again, this book is fun. So the first issue, this woman breaks out of this thing from back when Doc Ock was Spider-Man. Spoiler, Doc Ock used to be Spider-Man. He's like switched brains with Peter.
That's been what, 10 years now?
Yeah, it's been like 10 years. So this is like a problem that happened while Doc Ock was Spider-Man. And then Peter took his brain back over. Doc Ock died, but like because of Spider-Verse, a version of Superior Spider-Man from a different point in the timeline transferred his brain into a robot, and then it got put into a clone body. And now they did the whole like somehow Palpatine returned in this issue, where they're like, somehow he got back in his original body. We don't know.
Did they really?
Yes. Yes, they did. We're like,
So we didn't actually miss
nope,
anything.
apparently not. We didn't miss anything. They're just like, I don't know. It happened. Yeah. So,
Oh, good.
yeah.
Because I was feeling really bad. Kind of like, what I miss?
So in this, like, they've got to save Doc Ock / fake Peter's girlfriend from this super villain that Doc Ock accidentally created. And so Peter's in the Superior costume, and they've gone to like one of his secret layers, and Doc Ock's like in his ear telling him what to do. And so he has to keep like yelling at his minions because the whole place is full of spider minions. And at one point, somebody's like, "Where have you been so long?" And Doc Ock's like, "Backhand him. Show him who's boss." And Peter's like, I don't want to do that. And he's like, "Do it. Call him a cur." The book is fun and kind of silly. But I've very much enjoyed this run of Superior. Fun books, man.
And it's Dan Slott and Mark Bagley.
Yeah. So the creative team is top notch.
So we'll do my pick of the week next
Okay.
because you'll have to deal with that crap later.
Hmm.
Next up is
It's a ghost.
it is.
Oh no.
At least it's not called Spirit Machine. It's Ghost Machine number 1. So even though we've had Geiger and Junkyard Joe come out before, they were not at the time part of Ghost Machine.
And then this guy had a book too, right?
He was in a part of Geiger.
Okay. I knew you looked familiar.
Yeah, it was one or Junkyard Joe. I can't remember. It was one
Okay.
or the other. I
Gotcha.
read both. Red Coat Willie or something. I can't remember. Come on, man. I can't remember all this stuff.
Who even remembers things?
I don't. Red Coat. Yeah, it was Red Coat.
Red coat.
Yeah.
He does in fact have a red coat.
So in here, we're basically getting this is a one shot that's really kicking off the whole combined Ghost Machine universe. Like I said, it kind of already kicked off with Geiger and Junkyard Joe. And so it's a bunch of little short stories in here that give us a little bit more background of how we go with the unnamed, which is Geiger.
Mhm.
And then we go into Redcoat. A lot of first appearances in here too. If you like first appearances,
I
they're
like
in
fourth
here.
appearances.
So we have also, if you want to catch up on your characters and you haven't read any of the other stuff, we get our bios.
Little who's who.
Let's see
Official
here.
handbook.
Yeah,
of the...
Redcoat was Geiger. He was in the 80-page giant. It came out in
Oh, okay.
2022. Yep.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. We got the Northerner who was in Junkyard Joe. And then we got the President, Sarah Nash, whose first appearance is in here. And then Rook Exodus, which is a new character. Which is basically, it's kind of set up on, there's each one's like a spirit type animal type creature. So that's a first appearance in here. Rook, Swine, all first appearances. So it's basically the whole kickoff on all of this stuff. And then there's some really interesting things, like there's a, where's it? It's this one here. What's it called? Hold, please.
Is it baseball?
Yeah, it's two kids playing baseball. Oh, it's called Hornsby and Halo. The girl is the kind of like the reincarnation of a devil, of a demon, and the boy's kind of like is the angel.
Okay.
So, and they're playing. It looks like the universe is setting them up, figuring out nurture versus nature.
Gotcha.
Using
okay.
these two kids that are playing along with this whole universe thing. So, but if you want to get in on the somewhat ground floor,
yeah.
Once again, Geiger and
and
Junkyard Joe has already been out, but they're going to be a part of this. And then they give you a nice little. There's no map, but they give you a timeline. There's a timeline in here somewhere.
Was it Scott Snyder?
What's all kind of people in here?
Okay.
Yeah. So you get a whole timeline of everyone.
It's like a map of time.
It's just like that. Let's see. Geiger is the Jeff Johns, Gary Frank. Redcoat is Jeff Johns and Brian Hitch. Rook Exodus is Jeff Johns and Jason Fabok. The Rockefellers are Peter Tomasi and Francis Maniple.
Maniple, I think.
Maniple? Okay, I thought I had it correctly. Jeff Johns again. Jeff Johns. A lot of Jeff Johns. Jeff John writes a lot.
So it was Jeff Johns, not Scott Snyder.
Yes.
Clearly. My brain didn't work.
And there was a whole bunch of covers, but we didn't get. Let's see. Is Scott Snyder even a part? Yeah, no, he's not
I
even
don't think
a part
so.
of it.
I just got him and Jeff Johns confused in my brain.
Yeah, he's not even part of this. What are you talking about?
I don't even know.
So anyway, this is kicking off the whole Ghost Machine universe. I'm sure you saw it at a bunch of conventions and stuff last year, but this is it. And they have merch.
Ooh.
They have merch. We don't have merch.
Oh, it's really large.
It is. That's a thick boy.
It's like I said,
And it's got a nice cardstock cover too.
It's really nice.
unlike
Publishers.
unlike the new DC books. Anyway,
Or
Marvel
current
or
Boom
anything.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's all, yeah,
It's my understanding is the way the printers are now doing the stuff.
yeah.
And hey, this is Tommy's pick of the week, which is the Holy Roller number 3. Is that right?
Yep, it is number 3. Yep.
Number 3.
So this is a concept by Andy Samberg from Lonely Island or Brooklyn Nine-Nine, depending on where you know him from. You've got a guy who is kind of a jerk. He leaves home pretty young. His dad's a semi-professional bowler. He comes back home, and it turns out that his town is kind of overrun with Nazis, which is rough for him because his family's Jewish. So the guy whose family owns the bowling alley are basically the head Nazis in town, and he gets jumped and beats them half to death with a bowling ball.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens. So like he basically gets arrested, and half of this issue is him in jail, and the police take him and put him in a cell with a bunch of dudes, basically to kill him.
Because this is what happens when you get beat with a bowling ball.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Just saying.
That guy likes pudding. Just throw that out there. But anyway, it's an interesting story. It's a little more topical than I would usually like my comics, but because it's Andy Samberg, the humor's on point. Who's co-writing it with him? I forgot.
It's Rick Remender.
Rick Remender. Yeah. So one of the best writers in comics, plus one of the funniest people in comedy, doing a book about a bowling-themed Jewish superhero.
Superhero.
Well, hero, and I use that term loosely. But by the end of this issue, he's basically like, yeah, I got to get out of town. I got to run. And then he's like, oh, actually, maybe I need to stay here and get rid of the Nazis. Maybe that's a good idea.
What an idea.
Yeah. I've really enjoyed it. We're 3 issues in. It's the pacing feels like it's pretty fast, but like I'd say all told about 5 hours has passed in these first 3 issues. Like it's
That's funny.
yeah. It's sort of that deconstructed storytelling we hear so much about, but it doesn't feel that way because everything is happening so fast.
Yeah, there's a lot of people, Bill, a part of the Ghost Machine, but like really they had made, I think they had even actually basically had done this whole book really before like Brad and them had signed on.
Yeah, Brad wasn't even in that, was he? I didn't think so.
Yeah, his stuff's not in there, but there's a whole bunch of stuff that they're coming out with. This is just kind of the main little stuff that's going to be coming out. So I imagine you're going to see it in waves with Ghost Machine.
Maybe him and Chris Eliopoulos can do the I Am books, the little kid books, but for these guys. That would be adorable.
Yeah. So you're probably going to see it come out in waves. So you'll probably have a bunch of the stories in here. Like I said, you've already had Geiger. Well, Geiger just had another one shot that came out, which is an 80-page. Junkyard Joe just finished up. They're coming back in the next few months. And then you'll probably see the rest of them roll out. And then the following year is the next set of books. Will probably be a part of that. So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean,
that's a lot. It's a lot of people in that whole group.
It is.
So like a lot.
Oh, talking about MCU stuff now. Also, sharp left. I don't know that anything's been decided yet.
Yeah, I can't.
Like, I haven't heard anything official. I've heard a lot of rumors, but until I see a trailer, I don't really know what's happening.
I mean, and also it's Kang.
Yeah, like they can just recast him and be like, "Oh, this is different Kang. Don't worry about it. No big deal." Like, if they still want to do Kang, they can do Kang.
Yeah.
You know who's not doing anything right now? Terrence Howard.
That would be
hilarious. I would love that.
That would be funny. That would be great if he came back as Kang.
Oh, God.
I would appreciate that so much. So then Kang went all the way back to the first Iron Man movie.
Yep.
We can tie it all in.
Yep. Yeah, I'm like everybody else. I like to speculate about what's going to happen with Marvel movies, but for the most part, I just want to be entertained. I don't really care what they do.
Yeah, I don't care either.
And we're at a point now with Marvel stuff that if I watch something, I'm like, I didn't really like that. That's fine. I got something else coming in a couple of months. I don't have to like everything.
Yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah,
I don't like every comic on the rack, but I love comics.
Yeah.
So
yeah, there's Marvel stuff that I haven't watched because it's just not.
Yeah. Like I try to watch everything, even if I don't think it's necessarily for me, because I get spoiled really quickly in here. And I don't like getting spoiled. I like to see everything. So there've been a couple projects in the last couple of years that I just didn't really, they weren't for me. It wasn't that I don't know that they were bad or good. They just weren't for me. And I don't know that I'll ever go back and revisit them, but I've seen Ms. Marvel 5 or 6 times all the way through now because that one was for me.
Yeah, and like me, I'm the person who has not watched Loki mainly because I don't like Loki. So I can't see for me spending any time watching a show on a character that I just don't like.
Yeah,
like why would I?
That's fair.
Like there's so much other stuff to watch. Like why am I going to I don't? But I'm not going to complain about it.
Right.
Like obviously people like it.
So do you think of the MCU they'll do a Rings too? I'm not sure what that question is. Is this a Shang-Chi question?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Because
maybe
I'm not sure what you're asking, but I'm sure we'll get another Shang-Chi. That movie was awesome.
Yeah. I'm assuming.
But we're at that point where people are complaining, oh, you've got too many projects coming out, and then people are complaining, oh, you're not doing anything with all these characters.
Right.
Well, let's
Take a pick.
yeah, just let it happen, man. Like it'll happen. We'll get them
Eventually.
It'll be fun. Like as long as you're open-minded and want to enjoy things the way we like to enjoy things, everything will be great.
Yeah.
I'm excited for everything coming down the pipe.
Yeah. Like I haven't watched Marvels yet, so I got 2 weeks.
God, we're gonna drive people crazy. Gregory and I talked about this today because I think the Blu-ray comes out before it hits Disney Plus. One of us is going to go buy the Blu-ray, and it's going to be nonstop.
It's the week before, right?
Yeah, I think
because it hit digital last week, and
Yeah.
I think it's like next week is Blu-ray, and then the week after is when it hits Disney Plus. Like I haven't watched that, but I'll watch it that weekend it comes out.
Powhatan Con is the last Saturday in February, whatever that is, the 20-something.
I didn't even know that, so that's wonderful to me.
Yeah,
24th,
24th, 10 to 4.
10-4.
There will be an entry fee of $1. All of the entry fees are going to support the schools. They'll probably end up in the libraries, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, Loki was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loki was so
Yeah.
good. It was so unexpected because I'm also not a big fan of Loki and like the villains, but it was well done.
So that's why.
Yeah.
That's it. I still
fair.
still okay.
Like
I take that back. I enjoyed Loki. As soon as the Hulk grabbed him and started smashing him in Avengers Tower, I loved Loki. That was my favorite scene ever with Loki.
Yeah, I can see
Yes.
that. That was fun.
It is. I mean, it's just the way it is. But like I sat down last week and I rewatched Moon Knight.
And see, Moon Knight's one of those characters that I never read, never cared about. I watched the series and it was good and I enjoyed it, but I haven't revisited that.
Yeah. And I loved it.
Yeah.
Like I thought it was well done. But like I said, you saw it once. That was enough for you.
Yep. I'll probably I rewatch things a lot. I'll probably eventually go back and rewatch it. But like I said, I've watched Ms. Marvel all the way through. And I'm not counting when I put it on in here when it's just on in the background. I've watched it 4 or 5 times all the way through on purpose while paying attention.
On purpose.
Yeah. Not just like in the background. Like
so you didn't trip and fall into it.
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly. We had Endgame on in here earlier, but like we didn't watch Endgame. It just was on in the background. I did get to hear On Your Left and Avengers Assemble, but that was because I was doing paperwork at the time.
I think that's Jacqueline's favorite part in that film.
Oh, it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Just because of the original Cap on your left.
Yeah.
So she loves anything on your left. She loves. But that's also good.
Aw.
I think Tess is ready for us to go.
I'm not like we got a lot of people, so if you want to keep going.
We have any other questions?
I don't think there are any questions.
Oh, the Moon Knight in the Avengers comic was like the best 4 or 5 issues ever.
Yeah, I did read that. Where he beat up everybody and took their stuff. And he couldn't beat Black Panther, so he's like, I'm just gonna take you. Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
That was a fun book.
And it was like he took out 3 or 4 Avengers every issue. So
Yeah.
it wasn't so they took like a 12 or 24 issue series and did it like in 3.
You curveballs? You want a baseball hero?
EA Sports. It's in the game.
Like, I guess we could do a team up like NFL Super Pro and then Kickers Inc. I mean, I know they're all footballs.
I like the NFL Super Pro.
We 3D man? No, triathlon.
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 Yeah, not 3D man.
Not 3D man. Triathlon. Who else?
I don't know.
I guess we could cross the streams and put Cyborg in there. He used to play football.
The Powhatan, he's not going.
Yeah, I won't be there for Powhatan. We're going to be in Pittsburgh that weekend.
Hopefully.
Unfortunately, we've
Hopefully.
But we've got, if you've been to the Powhatan Con in the past, this is the 4th one we've done. We're going to have,
It's gonna be at the high school this year.
it's going to be at the high school this year, not the middle school. And we're going to have like 10 or so more vendors. We're going to have like 4 or 5 more comic vendors. We've got more artists. We've got more craft vendors. It's going to be the biggest.
Yeah, it's gonna be like twice the size as it was
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah. It's, I'm like, the thing we're doing in Pittsburgh is like one of the most rewarding weekends of our year in this industry. But I'm kind of bummed we're going to miss the Powhatan show.
Yeah,
It's
so-
okay. I'm going to be in charge.
That's okay.
It's a lot of work to put these things together.
That's okay. Tessa Boo's in charge. And
Hi. All right,
and
I'm
I had already
cutting
forgotten
off.
Tessa Boo.
I'm cutting you off.
once again, if she'd have just left it alone, it'd have all been fine. But
No!
but she didn't.
I'm gonna get this from all ends because I know my mom's gonna text me after this.
And Gregory's watching.
Oh
So
my
yeah,
God.
there's no escape.
So
That's
yes, so
beautiful.
Tessa Boo will be in charge of
Um,
Powhatan with her and Bucky. Bucky is who is at the school in Powhatan. So,
Yeah, he's a longtime friend of the shop. His dad was a subscriber before when he was a kid, and now he's a subscriber. And
Yep.
He's a good guy. He is now the librarian
librarian at
out
the middle
at
school.
middle school, and he's helped me put this on. This was kind of his idea, so
Yep.
a lot of the credit for this goes to him.
In Pittsburgh, we have it's called Comics Pro. It's a comic retailer summit. So it's like 3 days
We'll talk to a lot of publishers and distributors
and
other,
retailers.
and really the big thing is we're going to talk to a couple hundred other people that sell comics for a living.
Yeah.
And kind of compare notes and get a consensus of where we think things are going and where things are headed. And
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
yeah,
You're my
it's
only hope.
every year that we get to go, it's really an incredibly productive meeting every year. We always come out of it with a fresh bunch of ideas and kind of recharged because
And then sometimes things are just for our entertainment purposes only.
that is true. Yeah,
Sometimes you just sit around and listen
yeah.
and be highly entertained.
Sometimes people complain about things and then we complain about them complaining, but usually it's we're just enjoying it.
Was it? Yeah, it was last year. It was last year. We sat in the back and we Waldorf and Statler.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
beautiful.
I think it was one whole.
Was it breakfast?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either, but it was like 2 hours of us just in the back heckling.
Yeah, it was.
Gorgeous.
We ended up with like random people we didn't know come sit with us.
Come sit with us.
Yeah.
Because we were just back there.
They were like,
heckling
this
the
seems
entire-
like more fun than what they're doing.
Yeah, we heckled the entire time.
Yeah, it was great.
Aw.
And actually, Philip from Boom expected it.
Yeah, he did.
So it was pretty funny.
Oh
So, all right.
I'm
Tessa
cutting
Boo
you off.
is
Yeah,
giving
we-
us
I'm
the
cutting
stink
you off.
eye.
Way over.
So,
Yeah,
so we are
we've had enough.
we're going to bail here now as Tessa Boo is throwing down the axe. So, thanks for joining. We will do this again next week.
Yay!
Bye.